Game 2 of our tournament here today. We've got the 2022 Florida Dodger Scout team against the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects. Andrew Gibson, Mark Spencer, Jason Mauloni with you today. And guys, we've seen some good talent out here today, and we're getting another wave of it, Mark, in this second game.
Yeah, this is, we got them on the mound, touching over 86, 87 already, right here from the start.
This is Brad Hodges pitching for the Florida Dodger Scout team. And Brad Hodges is a University of Virginia commit. And he's going to go pitch in the ACC. So you know that Brad Hodges is a very talented player. He played high school ball at St. John's Country Day. That's where he does play in his home ballpark, getting a pitch here today. Against this Florida Gulf Coast Prospects team, this is Chris Thompson at the plate. And that one just got away from Brad. I think that one didn't even reach the cutout of the dirt in front of home plate, just touched the grass. That one just
choked it off a little bit.
It did.
You're able to do that in the first inning. It's okay. And guess what? It might happen again. Don't worry about it. Bring it back in this one, right here.
As you said, Brad's throwing in the mid-80s. That one 86, but it's ball 4 as Chris Thompson takes a base on balls. The Florida Gulf Coast Prospects, coached by Seth McClung, a former major leaguer. Seth, a big guy, 6'6", 280.
He was a big fella. I was not expecting him to be that big a boy. Just low.
Good spin rate.
Really high. That's a great observation. Really high spin rate on his fastball here for Hodges.
This is Lawrence Sutton. He's a commit of Wabash Valley College. What about the spin rate? It's over 2,000.
Yeah, 2,200. I saw one a little higher than that. So on a fastball with that high, that means it's going to really, give the. If you throw it up in the zone, you're going to induce a lot of swing and misses and a lot of pop-ups.
Here's Hodges from the stretch. Strike on the outside corner, another fastball. That one 86 miles per hour from Brad Hodges.
2,400. So I'm going to guess that that's a four-seam fastball. And if guys are going to struggle with that, anything above the belt is going to be really hard to hit.
Hodges pickoff attempt. He's got him in a pickle now. Trying to chase the runner back, and they will put the tag on him. An acrobatic tag by.
That's a great example of why you want to keep the ball in your hand as you're chasing him down, because the runner deked a little bit, and instead of throwing the ball, the shortstop was able to not worry about the transfer, keep it in his hand, and make the tag.
Justin Nadeau, the shortstop, is a JU commit. Making that play. Justin played at Bartram Trail. Brad Hodges continuing to pump in strikes. That one 86 miles per hour.
Virginia's getting a good one. You said he's a Virginia commit, is that correct? Yes, they know their numbers, and this is obviously the high spin rate, high velocity player here. .88 on that one. 2,500 RPM.
Yeah, the metrics are going to tell you that Brad Hodges has got a pretty good future ahead of himself. This is a 2-2 count. Swing and a miss, and Brad Hodges gets a strikeout to end the top half of the first. A breaking ball at 71 gets a strikeout for Hodges. We go down to the bottom half. The Florida Dodger Scout team against the Florida Gulf Prospects. No score.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure are up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
What's his number?
28.
You guys want anything for lunch?
Where are you going?
I don't know. There's an Arby's. There's a Panera. There's a
Arby's might be easy. You guys good with Arby's?
That's fine. Sure.
bunch of beef and cheddars.
Welcome you back here to the bottom half of the first inning. No score between the Florida Dodgers scout team, the 2022 group, against the Florida Gulf Prospects. Andrew Gibson, Mark Spencer, Jason Mauloni with you today from St. John's Country Day. And now we get a look at the starting pitcher today, Kyle Bingham, 6'3", 235 pounds, out of Largo. Not committed just yet, but we're going to get to see Kyle Bingham pitch today against this loaded Florida Dodgers scout team. This is a very talented 22 group for Coach Tom Lucas. You're going to see Justin Nadeau, the shortstop, lead off. We just mentioned a moment ago that Justin Nadeau is a JU commit. First pitch from Bingham, a swinging strike. Nadeau, a Bartram Trail High School product, going to Jacksonville University. Back from the left side, a left-handed shortstop for Coach Tom Lucas. Here's the pitch as Bingham works from the stretch, a big high arcing curveball this time, 67 miles per hour.
Didn't quite get the spin and the snap on that one, but early in the game, he's going to hopefully find what he did in that and make a correction.
It's always interesting to see guys who work from the stretch with nobody on base. I mean, that's just a preference of their own, but sometimes, like we mentioned before in a previous game, some guys lose velocity when they pitch from the stretch.
And I've seen the opposite. I think this is there's going to be a lot of points of emphasis to where we can really utilize data. And if I can prove to you data-wise that you have better metrics from either the stretch or the windup, then that's what you don't need to work on. And so if his numbers are better from the stretch, do the stretch.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's probably part of his focus for sure, behind the reasoning why he does it. And some guys, are just more comfortable from the stretch. Sometimes it's maybe not necessarily data, but it's just a comfortability thing.
It would seem to me if I would like to develop a player from the stretch, 'cause I don't want to have two different styles. And if I'm go through 2 or 3 innings and I'm going from the windup and I'm cruising and a guy happens to get a hit, all of a sudden I got to change the way I wind up and change my rhythm when I'm doing well. That's asking a lot.
Strikeout looking, a backwards K to start off Justin Nadeau, 82 miles per hour.
That was his highest velo of the inning right there. Well done.
Now we see Finn Howell. Finn Howell is going to UNF. So the top of this Dodger 22 team is a JU and UNF 1-2 punch at the top of the lineup. Outside strike against Finn Howell.
I can be highly critical of umpires, utilizing this technology, but this umpire, I told him between games, he's doing a really nice job.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like you said, the sort of like the Fox tracks of what we're being able to see, and that's a pretty good call there, the last one.
1-1.
Talk about both teams have collegiate commitments that we've discussed before, but I would tell you that this Dodgers scout team is one of the most impressive. Swing and a tapper back to the pitcher. Bingham coming over to make the play, out number 2. Just to name a few guys that are committed to college on this Dodger scout team, the 2022, we've discussed Brad Hodges, the pitcher, is going to Virginia. We just saw Finn Howell, he's going to UNF, he just grounded out. Earlier on, Justin Nadeau struck out, he's going to JU. Will Ross is going to Florida. Jordan Taylor, who I'm not sure is going to play today, he's going to FSU. And then there are 2 others on this team that are also going to JU. So, I mean, this team is loaded with local prospects going to local colleges.
You know, and that's something I really do like to see is the kids staying home. And I would say I'd like to see more players, you know, also looking at Florida, the junior college here in town, in
Yeah.
FSCJ.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that roster does not have many Jacksonville players on it at all. And I've always wondered why that was. There's many players that want to play, you know, for JU and UNF and Flagler. That's never really been a high priority.
And there's a bouncer right back through the box. That one got past the pitcher and the second baseman. Let's see what the data is on that one. That was a pretty hot shot, it looked like.
Yeah, it's on that one we didn't quite catch it off the bat. It got the hop. So after the first hop, it was at 60 miles an hour. But here's the thing: up the middle, you can get away with a lot more. Even on the ground, a little bit. So that's what happened right there. Had a little bit of that top spin grounder and got through.
Max Williams with a base hit that time. Max is going to JU and plays high school ball at Ridgeview. Not too far away from here either.
So it looks like if the Dodgers try to run as much here, it looks like this team is a little more prepared.
They
So
are.
I'm curious. That catcher popped up and he was ready to go to second with that one.
Well, this is Jordan Taylor at the plate right now. We were not sure if he was going to play or not today, but Jordan Taylor is in the lineup today.
Right?
Jordan Taylor, the stud center fielder, going to FSU. Number 42 at the plate right now is headed to play for Meat Junior, they call him, Mike Martin Jr.
That's right. I tell you what, last time I did a game here, he was in. He hit a hard line drive over that center field fence right between those two flagpoles.
This one from Bingham is over the top of the head, hit the backstop, and now he didn't even have to hardly go out and toss it back to him. It almost rolled back to the pitcher.
But back to Jordan, yeah, I was here a few months ago before the high school season ended. A lot of scouts here to watch him play. He was playing against LeBaron Johnson, against Maxon. So they were both throwing on the mound, throwing high 80s, low 90s, and he came up the bat and he hit a hard line drive just right through those flagpoles over center and a home run. It was impressive, very impressive.
We talk about the flight scope technology and just being able to track what these guys do. Jordan Taylor is one of these guys you want to be looking at the flight scope when he does anything.
Yeah.
From the stretch, as is customary for Bingham, he will have a runner at second. Here's the pitch. A called strike on the outside corner. That kind of froze Taylor. He wasn't sure that was a strike.
Yeah, it might have been a little outside. I'm going to say it quietly so I don't get in trouble.
Just a bit outside. Bingham again works from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Taylor. And he's going to call time.
I like that. The pitcher went ahead and released it. Sometimes you can kind of tighten your muscle, maybe your oblique or something in your shoulder a little bit. You not really injure yourself, but you get really uncomfortable. You try to stop that throwing motion,
2 strikes on Taylor. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounder to short.
Good play.
Good play by the shortstop. Taylor, a fast runner, and they got him. Wow, nice play by the shortstop that time. The Florida Gulf Coast Prospects against the Florida Dodgers scout team. No score as we head now to the second.
Look at you, man. You're getting this done. So he's getting like roast beefs and beef each other's.
Sweet.
I'm fine with that. I'm on that seafood diet. Seafood,
Hey, buddy.
seafood.
Ooh. Would y'all want pizza instead?
Ooh, it's fine, man.
Fine.
Yeah, everyone kind of nodded yes.
Easier to eat too, I guess. Pizza's always good to eat.
All right, get it, man. Later.
No score right now. I'm just going to keep track by hand right now. I actually was right on it last time.
So, Anthony Drawall, is that on this game? Is he playing this game? Here's some data on him if you want some. I said, people send me some bio stuff.
Can you screenshot and
Yep.
send that to me?
Yep.
Headed now to the second inning. No score between the 2022 Florida Dodgers scout team and the Florida Gulf Coast prospects. Andrew Gibson, Mark Spencer here with you. Glad you guys are watching and listening this afternoon on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Great to be back out at a baseball field and talking about baseball. As we saw start the game, Brad Hodges.
First pitch right over the middle of the plate. I like to see that. Challenge them, even if they know it's coming. Let's go. Do so much more starting out with a strike.
This is a different pitcher now. Joyner is on the mound. Will Joyner is the pitcher this time for the Florida Dodgers scout team. We saw Brad Hodges really impressed in his first inning of work, and Coach Tom Lucas, giving a couple guys an inning or two here or there, and that time only Brad Hodges only got one inning, but it was impressive. So now we see William Joyner from Lowndes up the road in Georgia. And this is Drew Droff. We were just talking about him a second ago off the air, Mark.
Yep.
He's signed with Maple Woods in Kansas City, Missouri.
Looks like another big fella. Like Seth is a really large guy, 6'6", like we said, and I saw him coming off the field, and he didn't look much smaller than Seth.
Now this guy's 6'3", 210, already out on strikes by Joyner. But yeah, another impressive, big-looking guy. I mean, we've just seen a couple of the Florida Gulf Coast prospects, and these guys are looking impressive. And like we said, that you're going to see, again, from Joyner, as we look at some of the metrics, that's 85.
Yeah.
He's throwing pretty solid.
Yeah, that's the off speed. Was definitely in the mid to low 70s. Change of pace, really nice pitcher.
That spin rate right there, 2450.
So that gives the illusion to the hitter that the ball is rising. As a hitter, you anticipate the ball to be falling at a certain rate with gravity and things like that. And they've studied how the vision works for hitters. And an example in Major League Baseball would be Verlander has the highest spin rate for a fastball. It looks like his fastball is rising. Even though it's not rising, it has that illusion to hitters.
Swing and a grounder to shortstop, and then to make a tough play here, and he's safe.
Nothing you can do there. He made a play, made it clean, was really coming up quick. Sometimes you hit them where they ain't, right?
That's right. Really impressive, some of the swings and misses that Joyner was able to induce that time. The previous swing and miss was on a 85-mile-an-hour fastball with 2470 spin rate. So now we will see
Showing bunt.
first bunt attempt I've seen today.
It's funny, when he laid down, I was looking at Coach McClung at that, and he was really watching the defense more than anything on that to see what happens if he showed bunt. And by his reaction, I think he wanted that bunt to get laid down. I don't think he likes to bunt that much, and I think he felt like that was the opportunity.
Chase Holman at the plate right now for the Florida Gulf Coast prospects. Drew Morris on deck. Runner at first from the stretch. Here's Joyner. Runner's going. Swung on and fouled back. The runner was already at second by the time the foul ball hit the netting.
Yeah, he got a good jump and he's quick. That's a deadly combo right there.
There is action in the Dodger bullpen across the way. Looks like they're going to change out a few pitchers here this afternoon in the second game. Of course.
Yeah, I think they're going to be on a lot of these guys are in pitch counts. This is another reason I think Coach Lucas. I like what him and his staff do with the Dodgers. This isn't about winning some kind of trophy or ring here. This is about getting these guys better and keeping them healthy.
Yeah, and also as we talked about in the first game, it's about just getting these guys work because, we saw instances in the first game, especially not to pick on Clay, but, Clay had some errors in the field. And some of that's just guys just haven't played in a while.
After the game, I did talk to the Clay coach. He's like, yeah, we've had 2 practices.
Wow.
These kids have had practice twice since the pandemic lockdowns happened.
Runner going. This is a high fly ball. This will be shallow left. Coming over to make the play is the shortstop, Nadu. And that'll be out number 2 in the inning. Bottom of the second, no score between Florida Gulf Coast Prospects and the Florida Dodgers scout team. And we know that Coach McClung is a pretty talkative guy.
Yeah, he hasn't stood still yet. I like him over there. He's really active. He's communicating to the guys on first and his hitters.
Here's the pitch to Morris, inside, strike called. 84 miles per hour, and it seems like Joyner he's well over the 2,000 spin rate.
Yeah, that's a really nice, first time to see him pitch, and I like what I see. Really nice player.
And another swing and miss. Here's a pickoff throw down to second, and the runner will swipe the bag, and that throw was offline from the catcher.
The second baseman didn't look like he was ready for that play, and the shortstop, the throw was way to the first base side of the bag, and that shortstop making that play, actually, there was no out. That was a heck of a play he made.
It was.
That ball was headed to right center.
It was Justin Nadu making that play. Second baseman was nowhere near the bag, and so the shortstop had to come over and try to cover the pickoff attempt. And the runner does steal the base. And here's Morris again at the plate, standing from the right side, and he is punched out on strikes. He's caught looking, a strike 3, and a nice effort on the mound that time from Joyner, as we will head now to the 3rd inning. No score between the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects and the Dodgers scout team.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
I didn't see.
It wasn't Maddox, it was a different kid.
Was it 12?
Ooh, I think it was.
Third inning of action here in the second game of 4 this afternoon from St. John's Country Day in Orange Park in the Jacksonville area. Andrew Gibson, Mark Spencer, and I think Jason's out for a moment, but he'll be back. Jason Mauloni.
We got the world famous Wags in here.
That's right.
Oakley product, plays at Lander College right now, right?
Oh yeah, living the dream.
Now you were telling me earlier that, so you're a senior in school, but you're a redshirt sophomore?
Correct.
How does that work?
Alright, so my sophomore year, got hurt, ended up taking my medical redshirt, and then this past year, with our season ending shortly,
Right.
giving every player another year of eligibility.
Yeah, I'm glad the colleges did that because there's nothing the players could do. You know, this pandemic just ruined everybody's year.
Well, it does bring up, nice strike. It does bring up an interesting situation. If you notice in the draft, 0 players from the University of Florida got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be an extremely crowded program with 20 recruits coming in?
Yeah, they're going to be some
And no one's
transfers.
leaving?
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a loaded team, too. That Florida team is going to be ridiculous.
You know, you think about the local prospect, the Bulls, the lefty,
Connor Barco.
Barco, right?
Yep.
He's not. He's as good as he played. I don't think he has a weakened spot in the rotation with everyone coming back.
Yeah, Tommy Mace is coming back. He didn't get drafted. There's a nice piece of hitting that time as we see Steele with a base hit. Mason Steele, product of Lowndes. Nice base hit. Was he hitting with a wood bat?
That was, and that sounded great.
It
Didn't it?
sounded terrific. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys will use the wood bat. Here's a player that we work with quite a bit, Eli Maddox out of Oakleaf here at bat.
Yep. How tall is Eli? Do you know?
Yeah, he's now a little over 6'2". And when I first met him, he was about 5'10", 5'11", and that might not have been a year ago.
Wow. Nice piece of hitting, by the way, from Drew Steele who's at first base. Like you said, I just love to hear the sound off the wood bat. It's just, especially like when guys are taking BP, you just hear that it sounds like a shotgun going off sometimes.
So, speaking of bats, I do have a story about the bat that Eli is holding right here once after this pitch.
Okay. Here's the pitch from Bingham. Swung on. This was lifted high and on the infield. Coming over is the shortstop. Sunglasses gleaming to make the play.
So, in analyzing Eli's swing, we have determined that he swings better with a balanced bat, and the bat that he has is the most end-loaded, the opposite of balance, basically, in the marketplace. So I just looked down and saw that right there was in a bat with a bat he had never used before.
Huh.
So I was curious how that was going to go.
Runner at first. Strike on the outside corner this time. And this is Daniel Carrigan. I have a couple guys from Lowndes High School out of Georgia. Kerrigan, another one of those guys. Foul ball, first base side.
He came out this morning and also got his evaluation and everything with us. Another great looking hitter. He has some really nice numbers. Seemed to be a little quicker, a little bit more of a compact swing for him. But yeah, it's nice to see him in the game after seeing him in the cage and see what he can do. I anticipate kind of a gap-to-gap line drive hitter here.
Get some of the metrics from Bingham. He's continuing to throw high 70s. That time 79 with a over 1,800 spin rate.
If you look behind you, you can see Wags here working on his batting. Hitters never stop hitting, do they? Even in their heads.
This one a foul ball, first base side.
Well, you've said it a couple times. It's just nice to be watching baseball right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
This
I
is
mean,
great.
It took till the middle of June, but hey, we'll take it. Ground ball, third base side, and that's one of those plays where you think the shortstop may be able to backhand it. The third base, there's a split-second decision the third baseman has to make. Do I want to step in front of this? Do I want to let the shortstop take it? And that time the third baseman boots it.
It just happens sometimes. So let's see what happens here. So on that play, the pitcher was running over behind third to make a play. Coach McClung just kind of said something to him, and immediately the pitcher motioned over to the catcher. So they got some kind of play here, it looks like, that they either work on, or maybe it's some type of making sure responsibilities are covered. But sometimes that's when you maybe look for some type of coverage.
So runners at first and second here.
This is where coaching really comes in, right?
Absolutely. And now you see Noah Couch from Trinity Christian at the plate for the Florida Dodger scout team. From the stretch, here's Bingham. Called strike.
So it's usually that second pitch. And they're not going to show their cards here. This pitch, if there is some type of play call, this is going to be the pitch where maybe they change things. Yeah, so they're going to move the shortstop over to the hole, and the second baseman is now going to cover the bag.
And here he called time just to maybe see. Well, I don't know. I think the umpire or the batter called time. I think the batter did. Noah Couch out of Trinity. It's a historic week, the past week for Trinity Christian. Austin Martin, who played locally high school baseball in Jacksonville. Played at Vanderbilt. Here's a ground ball. This will be maybe a no man's land. The first baseman coming over, pitcher covering, and he made the play for the out. But as we mentioned, Noah Couch from Trinity. Austin Martin, the 5th overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft out of Vanderbilt. Also played high school ball in Jacksonville at Trinity Christian. So congratulations to Austin Martin. Now the 2nd highest draft pick from any player that played high school baseball in Jacksonville. The first being Chipper Jones. Chipper was taken 1st overall in the 1990 draft out of Bowles. But a pretty historic day and week for the Trinity Christian program in Jacksonville.
Andrew, who's this hitting again? This is
This to the plate now. Number 16. This is going to be Webb.
yeah. So the reason I noticed the curly blonde hair on the helmet.
Yep.
In his hitting eval today, he did an excellent job.
Nathan Webb out of Mandarin.
Yeah. Hit it really hard today.
And a ground out for Webb as we head now to the bottom half of the 3rd. No score between the Florida Dodger scout team and the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
Welcome you back here to St. John's Country Day. Andrew Gibson alongside Mark Spencer, our 2nd game today of this tournament. Some summer ball here in Jacksonville, in the Orange Park area of Jacksonville. No score as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd. New pitcher on the mound for the Dodger scout team is Jude Howell. Jude Howell out of Creekside High School. And Coach Tom Lucas using a pitcher per inning so far. This is their 3rd guy, now the 3rd inning, Mark.
Yeah, so it's a combination of wanting to keep the pitch counts to a certain manageable amount, getting guys work, but also getting the videos done. These guys get some metrics for some of the guys that might not be committed just yet. So yeah, no, it's been good. It's nice to see the priority of the players be the highest priority, you know.
And all 3 pitchers have thrown scoreless baseball. Brad Hodges, very impressive in his 1st inning of work, followed by William Joyner, who really showed some velocity, throwing in the high 80s. And then now you see Jude Howell on the mound for the Dodgers.
Jude starts it out at 81 miles an hour from the stretch.
Now you see Hunter Hessenlink at the plate. He's the 8th hitter today, 8th place hitter. For Coach Seth McClung, the head coach of the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects, he told us before the game, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch that time. 80 miles per hour on the gun. he told us before the game, Seth did, that I said, hey, Coach, I got one more question for you. And he said, I was 0 for 7, or no, Derek Jeter was 0 for 7 against me in his career. I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, no, I got one more question. He's like, I was 2 for 2 off Randy Johnson. He played in the big leagues for several years. That was good stuff. Derek Jeter was 0 for 7 against him. There's a strikeout.
How about that, huh?
I mean, there's the 2 Hall of Famers right there. He had those stats ready to go, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's not the first time he's ever told that.
No, that's great though. I love hearing the
I do
stories.
too. It's awesome. So out on strikes is Hessenlink, the outfielder today, and left. And now we see Danny Loomis at the plate.
I really like he starts everything out right over the middle of the plate. Love it. It's great.
Tell you what, our great umpire down there tonight, he's calling that outside strike, isn't he?
Doing a good job. No, he's doing a nice job.
Yep. And he called him out on strikes.
Had a little flare. Did you hear that?
A breaking ball is 67 for the second out of the inning.
I'm kind of a fan of different type of out calls, whether it's the first base umpire that like either points and gives an emphatic punch out, or maybe the kind that it's a bang bang play at the first base and they just kind of stand there and quietly just raise the fist and all kinds of styles out there.
And he's been he's definitely had a couple of opportunities here of late to give his called strikeout.
Absolutely. Whoa, what was that? Oh, did you see that play?
Yeah, it was a ball from the bullpen, wasn't it?
The ball from the bullpen did a ricochet off the wall, and so Eli Maddox, the catcher from the Dodgers, had just caught a fastball and then reached down and got the other one. He had 2 balls in the glove right there. That might go on his highlight video, actually. So Eli Maddox has been, it's not just high school players that have been struggling with not playing. So there's, we have a lot of professional ball players and big leaguers in town. He's been catching a lot of players that, for the Indians and Red Sox here in town quite a bit. And now these are guys that throw 94 to 98 miles an hour, and he's, for a kid that's a 22, incredible experience, and for him to get that work in.
I don't know this, but I wonder if Mike Clevenger ever comes back to Jacksonville. Do you know?
He's here, but he doesn't throw here much. Like I don't know if you Wags, if you hear much of him throwing, but I know he was when he had a recent video call that's made its rounds on social media. It looked like it was at the Intercoastal on a boat.
That Rob Friedman, right?
Yeah, so I think he might spend time on a boat here, but I don't think he throws much here.
The ace of the Indians. You could say Shane Bieber too, but I would say if all were healthy, Mike Clevenger's the one for the Indians. And
Sunshine.
That's right, Sunshine got the locks, flowing locks, out of Wolfson High School, born in Jacksonville. There's a high fly ball deep to right field. It's a shot that is off the base of the wall.
Stumbled.
And that one is going to be close to a double. He's safe. A head first slide. That time for Kayden Evans.
Evans almost took a headfirst slide after he passed first base. Stumbled a little bit after making the tag, but collected himself. And if that throws on line, he's out. But send him. That's why McClung sent him, and now he's got a man on second.
The leadoff hitter for the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects with a double here off the right field wall.
You talk about putting the ball in play and putting pressure on the defense. I will tell you, there's no better pressure on the defense than a player at second. Much more than a player at first. Turning singles into doubles is very, very, very important. Now you've got, as a defensive player, you've got backside responsibilities. You've got the pitcher kind of looking behind him, worried about it because you know that a hit could score him. To me, as a hitter, yeah, home runs are great. But if I can turn singles into doubles, that's my key.
And so it's a double for Evans. So he stands now at second base, runner in scoring position. There's a ground ball first base side. Runner's going to third. And the first baseman will come over to make the play at first as Chris Thompson grounds out, and that will do it for the top half of the fourth inning. As we go to the bottom half, no score.
We need a Seth cam.
Should have been bottom of the third, actually. This team pitches.
Boom, get the ball in there. Boom. Because I think with 5-star, we didn't get 3 games this week.
No.
5-star forever.
Well, this game will take. Well, this game will take an hour and 20 minutes, I bet. Hour and 30 minutes.
I'd say hour 40.
It's the same pitcher, I believe. Isn't
What
it?
do people say about the 5-star thing?
MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
These Facebook memories pictures. So this is 8 years ago. Just popped up on. I'm like, yeah, my boys are like going to college and high school, and they're little bitty babies here.
Top half of the fourth inning now between the Florida Dodgers scout team, the 2022 group, and the Florida Gulf Coast prospects. Andrew Gibson, Mark Spencer with you for inning number 4. We've seen now 3 pitchers in 3 innings for the Dodgers scout team, but the starter Kyle Bingham has remained the only starter and the only pitcher today for the Gulf Coast prospects. He continues to work now on the top of the 4th.
He's done a nice job. He's kept the ball in the strike zone quite a bit.
Swung on in this one, a hard hit ball to center field. It's going to get over the head of the center fielder as Lodi gets a double off the first pitch he sees in the inning.
You know, if you know that they're pumping strikes down there, if you're a hitter and you trust yourself, let's go. 90 miles an hour exit velocity, 17-degree launch angle. That is a mid to low line drive by definition. You start hitting it over 90 miles an hour, you can get away with a whole lot, and that was textbook right there.
Alex Lodi out of Bartram Trail with a leadoff double for the Dodgers. I believe we have Brad Hodges now at the plate. Yep. Hodges started this game on the mound for the Dodgers. And this is his first plate appearance of the day. Runner at second after a leadoff double from Lodi. And here's a pitch down and inside. Strong effort to lead off the game on the mound for Brad Hodges. He was a guy that we knew coming in was committed to Virginia, University of Virginia, and he really lived up to the billing, I think. From the stretch, here's the pitch, another inside fastball. That one took a little bit off at 80 miles per hour. That's saying something when you can take something off and throw 80.
I think he's being really selective here. I think he's looking for a particular pitch. He's very selective.
Swung on, this is a base hit. This could score a run, it definitely will. Coming around to score is Lodi. It's an RBI single for Brad Hodges.
Really nice piece of hitting. 14-degree launch angle. That's a low line drive. 88.4 mile an hour exit velocity. Once again, that's in the range of being very productive. Nice hitting.
1-0 to score. The Dodgers break it open first. After an RBI single from Brad Hodges brings home Alex Lodi. And again, it's just the Dodgers really showing you get guys on, you drive them in. That's what the 2023 group did earlier today, and now the 2022 group is doing the same. So they're going to leave Bingham in the game. He's only get up 1 run, and this is his 4th inning of work. once again, he's in a position where he's got runners in scoring position now. He's going to have to be able to try to get out of this jam. Dodgers already with a run home here in the fourth, 1-0. This is Cade Frew from Bowles at the plate now. Bowles, another good team this year. Of course, we've mentioned everybody had their seasons cut short. Most teams got to play 8 to 10 games in high school before they got canceled. The Bowles Bulldogs, previously in years past, have been led by Hunter Barco, now at Florida. Swing and a miss that time from Frew. Now it's Jackson Baumeister. Jackson Baumeister, a really good pitcher for Coach over there at Bowles.
I know Jack and his dad really well. He's a great kid, strong learner. He used to come to our facility and train. Just a hard-working dude.
Coach Boswell there at Bowles. They got a bunch of good players.
You mentioned something here with the Dodgers lineup. You keep mentioning these powerhouse baseball schools these kids play for.
Yeah, they've got quite a selection of teams from Jacksonville that have absolutely put out some really good products. And I thought about a steal. I think they thought about a steal right there from Hodges, but
Just down and out. I think the umpire had a little message for the catcher. It's like, don't hold it there that long, please.
Yeah. Another pickoff attempt. They're playing the little cat and mouse game. They're trying to figure out if Hodges is going to go. I think he almost really thought about it on the previous play. And there's a strikeout of Frew. And now this is Will Ross. He's a University of Florida commit. And I talked to Coach Lucas about Ross earlier today, and he was really speaking highly of number 34. Big kid.
I think 6'7" is what he was saying earlier.
That's pretty dang impressive for a high school kid guy.
I think he's going to pitch today in a later game. If I understood him correctly, he might pitch today in a later game, and he is, low to mid 90s already.
No question, you can see why Florida is interested. Here's the pitch.
Just glad he's a 2022. If you notice, Florida didn't have anybody drafted. They returned everybody next year.
Yeah, we were just talking about that while you were gone. Yeah, it's just, Hunter Barco's back, Tommy Mace is back. I mean,
They returned a team that was ranked #1,
yeah.
fully intact, plus whatever incoming freshmen there are, and that just makes competition that much harder to get on the field.
Well, one of the guys that's going to Florida from Jacksonville is Colby Hall from Bishop Kenny. He wasn't drafted the other night, but there was a chance he could have been. In a 5-round draft, it's always tough. But Colby signed with Florida, actually committed to Florida his freshman year at Bishop Kenny. And, shortstop, pitcher with Kenny, and now he's going to Florida. Steal by Hodges. They finally got the base that they wanted on second.
And I'm not saying this about Colby. I know Colby. He's trained at our facility as well, and I know him well. But this is the time where it comes to where, okay, did you commit to that school because of your ego? You wanted to say you went there? or do you really want to go play somewhere? Because if you want to play somewhere, you're not going to go play at Florida. Not for a year or two.
It's going to take a while for this backlog of the COVID red shirts to clear out.
Yeah, you're right.
No offense, Wags.
Speaking of Wags, who's a COVID sophomore.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too. It's like he's a senior in school, but he's a redshirt sophomore on the team. So it is going to be weird, isn't it? Like the next year or two is going to be weird to like figure out how rosters are going to work. You know?
I mean, they can expand the rosters all they want. You still only put 9 on the field.
Right.
If anything, it helps.
It's a line drive out by Justin Navy. What's the data on that one?
Yeah, so that was an off-speed. He really fooled him. You could tell he kind of half committed, like, okay, I'll try to make contact. And when you hit it really soft like that, not going to go anywhere.
Headed now to the bottom half of the fourth. 1-0 the score. The Dodgers on top as we go now to the bottom half of the fourth.
There is now a more way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you.
Jude Howell continues on the mound now for the Dodgers scout team. 1-0, Dodgers on top here in the fourth. Right now at the plate is Lawrence Sutton, a Wabash Valley commit. High and outside this time from Jude Howell, who began his work in the last inning. Continues now to the fourth. Again, Howell's throwing mid to high 70s today. The last pitch is 78 miles per hour. Sutton is going to take ball 4 this time. And now he gets into position now for Drew Drolf, who's a guy that we know has some pretty good power.
We're going to bring in a pinch runner for the catcher. Now we're seeing guys have their second at bat. Sometimes they get a little, maybe they're warmed up, a little more juice here.
Monty Myers is the pinch runner for the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects. Got a runner on, a faster guy than the catcher, certainly. And with a power bat at the plate, hope maybe he can get a run across, maybe two. One nothing lead for the Dodgers. Brad Hodges, an RBI single. Brought home Alex Lodice.
That's a nice two-seam fastball right there. A little arm side action. Runs a little bit arm side, drops a little bit with the 1800 RPM.
Swing and a line drive back to the second baseman, doubling him off. It's a double play as Monty was off the base. And that's just a tough play when you're in between as a base runner and there's a line drive hit that hard. It was 90 miles per hour off the bat. It's a tough spot for the base runner, Monty Myers, and he's double off, 2 outs.
You know, the coaches will tell you to be prepared for that, but that's, like you said, it's just one of those deals. If you don't hit it over the infielders, you're giving them an opportunity to turn one swing into 2 outs.
Chase Holman is the batter right now. Swung on, he lifts this one high and deep to right center field. And coming over to make the third and final out, the right fielder for the Dodgers. And now we head to the 5th inning. It's 1-0, Dodgers on top.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
Here is Finn Howell to lead off the 5th inning for the Dodgers against the same pitcher that we've seen all day today, as Bingham continues to work in the 5th inning. You know, we've seen some of these guys, most in fact, have been on pitch counts. Bingham is not today.
Well, I bet he might still be. I mean, he hasn't worked that much. He's thrown pretty good. I don't have the pitch count in front of me, but I would assume he's under 6. Nice play by the catcher at the fence.
Yep, catcher came over and angled toward the first base side of the netting, able to come over and make the play.
Oh, the umpire is saying that the hitter is out. Are they saying no? He's still at bat. He's saying that the ball hit the net on the way down.
Ah.
So
And
this is don't forget, this is the same catcher that framed that one pitch a little too long, and the umpire kind of leaned down and talked to him. So
We don't have a good angle to see what happened. I wouldn't speculate.
no, I wouldn't either. You're right. I'm just trying to stir it up.
Every bit of sarcasm, there's a little bit of truth.
Finn Howell on his way to UNF to play college baseball. The second hitter today in the lineup for Coach Tom Lucas. Here's the pitch from the stretch, and this one outside. That's another thing too, is like Bingham has worked exclusively from the stretch, and so, you know, Here's a pitcher that's pitching from the stretch. He's now gone nearly 5 innings.
I like from the stretch. You don't have to change your rhythm or what you do based off of runners or not.
Outside fastball, nearly 80 miles per hour, strikes out Finn Howell. Here's Max Williams, a Ridgeview High School product. He's on his way to JU. Max Williams, a left-hander. As we mentioned, UNF and JU all over this Dodger scout team lineup today. One nothing the score here in the 5th. Dodgers still in front. Swung on. This is going to be a line drive out of the glove of the center fielder. That was a tough play. It was a play where also that might have gotten the hand instead of the glove too.
Yeah, and center fielder's first step was in. And even if it's hit low like that, when your first step is in, you get yourself in a lot of trouble.
I think either he's frustrated, or I think he's mostly frustrated that he just didn't catch the ball. But I thought maybe there's a possibility that maybe it just got on the inside heel of his hand, of his glove.
All right, Jordan Taylor here at the plate. We know he's got some potential power.
Jordan Taylor, the center fielder for the Dodgers, and a FSU commit, Jordan Taylor at the plate.
He grounded short last time he was up, I think.
Yep.
Shortstop made a really nice play, kind of lost his footing, gathered himself, and made the play at first.
FSU, I know, had at least one draft pick, C.J. Van Eck, pitcher. Got drafted in the 3rd round.
That's another school that's going to return basically everybody but one guy.
You talk about
Florida State.
you combine returning rosters with the contraction of a few programs. You're quite up.
This will be a base hit for Jordan Taylor.
Making the play at third.
Throw to third. There will be a play there. They got him. Runner is out at third. Max Williams. Jordan Taylor into second.
So what are you hearing the latest? Is it, have you heard any recent rumblings? Can the MLB and the players get together yet?
Not yet. I think it's funny because I've been talking about this for several weeks now about about how and when possibly they're going to play. It's as we got once again Steele is at the plate.
Well, real quick to interrupt the story. Remember Steele last time up with that wood bat got a hit.
Yep, sure did. Right field.
And not only is it a wood bat. Oh, not only is it a wood bat. It doesn't have any fancy paint. Look like he just kind of got it cut. Looks like it's the natural.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see any fancy logos or paint on it. Just get up there and hit.
Exactly. It feels like that the players just rejected the 72 game proposal. It seems like to me it's going to be 50 games. The commissioner's going to have to mandate they play 50.
So it's going to be a big showcase.
Yeah. Here's a ground ball, second base off the wood bat of Steele, fast runner, but he is going to be down. As we head now to the bottom half of the 5th, Jordan Taylor got to third but could not come home. 1-0, Dodgers still in front.
Way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements and data to see how your metrics measure are up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
Bottom half of the fifth inning now. The Florida Dodger scout team leads the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects 1-0. As Noah Couch now on the mound. The fourth pitcher of the afternoon for the Dodger scout team. Our second of 4 games this afternoon. This one's skied right side. Let's see if it'll stay in play. It doesn't. Drew Morris at the plate right now for Florida's Gulf Coast Prospects, and there's an off-speed pitch outside. That one's 70 miles per hour. And you know, we were just talking about the draft just completed. There were 1,200 players drafted last year. This year, 160, because the draft was cut down so far from 40 rounds to 5.
So when you combine the drafted, how many will sign free agent contracts now? It's not going to equal. It's not going to equal the 1,200.
No, you got a lot of kids that are going to go back because, you know, if you're a Power 5 school, you have a chance next year. But what about all these mid-majors, D2s? There was 1 D2 kid drafted, 1 D3 kid drafted, 2 JUCO kids drafted, and the rest were basically Power 5 and upper mid-major schools.
Wow.
But the Power 5 conferences dominated. I mean, but that's who got seen the most, that who had the most data on, so that teams can make educated decisions on players.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to hit on all those 160 players they drafted? Nope. Especially some of the high school kids that they really didn't get a chance, other than the kids that played in the PDP.
And think about this too. We talked about the team and the roster that's coming back from Florida next year. The SEC had 6 of the first 14 picks in the draft, and Florida didn't have one.
But you look at Florida, they're coming back now where they had 15 recruits. How many of their recruits got drafted?
Yeah.
I don't think there was that many. So you're going to bring in 15 guys on campus on top of the 30 you're returning or can return.
There's a base hit
Can you
into
get him a first?
Wow, he did.
Got him
He did
at
get him.
first.
How about that? As he's called out, and you don't see that too often, but sometimes when runner's not getting out of the box quick enough, you can get thrown out from right field.
Well, this is a short porch. Right field's playing shallow, basically a deep second base, because anything over his head's a home run. This park is very conducive to free outs that normally wouldn't be outs, right? If it's a short porch, if it's over your head, it's either off the fence or it's a home run.
Yeah, so you're only playing at 200 feet instead of 250. That 50 feet's the difference in getting a guy at first.
And a hard hit ball. That ball is hit at 88 miles an hour on the ground. The ball's at the right fielder by the time the fielder's halfway to first.
So Myers was the one who was thrown out from right field. This is Hunter Hessenlink at the plate. And just looking at the data here, Mark, on our pitcher right now, he's still in mid-80s.
Looks really good. Mid-80s, over the plate, looks balanced.
Noah Couch.
Really nice right there.
There's a swing and a miss. 72 miles per hour. Took off a little bit, almost 10 miles per hour off of that last pitch. And that'll do it for the 5th inning. We head now to the 6th. 1-0 Dodgers.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
And if he's only throwing this one game, oh yeah.
Welcome back as we head to the 6th inning here between the Florida Gulf Prospects and the Florida Dodgers scout team. 1-0 Dodgers. And we're talking about the pitcher that's still on the mound. Kyle Bingham was the starter of today's game, and he is still going into the 6th inning. And guys, we were just talking about this off the air. His pitch count we don't have in front of us, but I mean,
It seems very low.
It seems low, doesn't
It's
it?
a 1-0 game.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost velocity, so there's no signs of any fatigue. Keep throwing.
Yeah, because I mean, the Dodgers have used 4 guys on the mound today already, and this is the starter of today's game, still in the game.
Yeah, if you throw them once a week, I'd rather use up all my bullets one day and have a week to rest.
Here's your guy, Eli Maddox from Oakleaf.
With a bat he's never used.
Catcher out of Oakleaf.
Led Oakleaf in home runs as a freshman.
Wow. How many do you remember? Wow.
He had 6.
6 homers. That was a
He
nice
hit 3 here.
Wow. Nice looking curveball just now, 63 miles per hour from Bingham. Swung on, this one lifted for Maddox to center field, and just like you said, Mark just got under it.
Just under it. Yeah, it's just really close. I think, the ball is round, the barrel of the bat is round. I mean, it's really hard to square it up, but that's, when the ball goes up the middle, I know we're close. That means that barrel is pointing to the right direction, and really close on that one.
Here's Daniel Carrigan now out of Lowndes High School at the plate.
So anyone watching the game there just saw that 32 miles per hour come up. So when the ball is thrown into the pitcher, sometimes it'll pick up that velocity and show that, but that's what that was. Yeah, look, his fastball before that pitch was 80. He's still at 80.
Yeah, and this is a big kid too. We're talking about 6'3", 210. So this is a big, strong pitcher that can go deep into games. At least it appears to me he can.
80, 90 pitches is nothing.
Yeah.
Especially he's had all the rest. High school season cut short. You're playing once a week, or pitching once a week, maybe 3 games over a weekend with the modified tournaments.
You know, Andrew, another thing when we do these games and you know, we try to learn something new each time we set up and you know, one thing I'm definitely noting from today's game, as a nice strike, is if I do a game with this team again, we're going to have a Seth cam. Because from where I'm standing in the booth, I can see Seth McClung, and this is one of the most active coaches I've seen out there.
Yeah, he's getting after it. He's talking to everybody that will talk to him.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing you say. He's going and finding conversations.
Yeah, but as a kid, wouldn't you rather play for a guy that's been there, done that,
Yeah.
understands the whole process?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the ability to have someone to ask questions to that can give you legitimate answers is priceless.
I don't know if you're in here or not, but our conversation before the game with Seth, I said, Coach, I got a question for you. And he said, Derek Jeter was 0 for 7 against me. And I started laughing. I was like, no, I really have a question. Randy Johnson, I was 2 for 2 against him. Oh, it was pretty funny.
Well,
good for you, though. Man.
facts.
Against Hall of Famers. As Carrigan draws a walk.
I don't know if I'd want to stand in the box for Randy Johnson.
Oh my gosh, I'll be looking like John Krupp.
There's
Or
an
the bird.
instructor in Melbourne
Yeah,
that I
right,
ran
right.
into a few weeks ago. Alexis Gomez played for the Tigers
Yeah.
and lefty, and they also coaching with the Angels now for a little bit. And he tells a story about his rookie year. He's playing for the Tigers, and I think it was Polanco, was a lefty hitter. It was Polanco, yeah. And suddenly he was hurt that game. Like, hey, yeah. So suddenly, like, his back tightened up. So the manager said, "Hey, you're playing." And it's against Randy Johnson, right?
Oh gosh.
So we'll tell the story here as the inning goes.
This is Noah Couch, the pitcher at the plate right now for the Dodgers against Bingham. Kickoff attempt at first.
So the way Alexis tells the story, he goes up there first time he's a rookie, first time he's ever seen Randy Johnson, and as he's going up, Polanco tells him, "Hey, the first pitch is gonna be at your head because he knows you're a rookie."
Pitch to Noah.
Well, get it out of the way early.
Yep. So sure enough, steps in the box, takes a stance, first fastball right at his head, right? So he knew it was coming. So the way Alexis tells the story, and it's so great, I wish I could give it the justice it needs. Played it first there, is Alexis said he dusted himself off, and then he stepped up closer to the plate, and he heard the catcher go, "Rookie, you sure about this?"
That's great. Swing and a miss.
We're going to give Blue a second here. We're going to give so right on cue, I guess I can tell the story. So so Gomez steps in there, and sure enough, he's able to fight one off, hits a little oppo, double.
Wow.
Okay, really good at bat. So he said he rounded first, jogged into second, and when he got on the second, he continued his body facing to the outfield. He did not want to look at Johnson, right? So he turns around, and sure enough, Randy Johnson's not on the mound yet, and is staring at him with his death stare. So next player gets up, it's a ground out, so he's running to third, so now they're crossing paths as they are at the inning ends. He goes, "Nice job." The way he tells the story is just the coolest story. Like, here's a guy that tried to take his head off, but it's this professional thing. Like, what do you got, kid? Are you tough enough to stand in there?
Umpire's going to have to dust off the plate for a second, but I'm guessing he has to have a chest protector because
Yeah.
that one That one
I
was,
think that got more arm than just protection.
yeah.
Sometimes you just need a little time, right?
So play resumes now, and Noah Couch stands back in for the Dodgers. The stretch for Bingham. Runner looked like he was going. Pickoff back down to first, and he's safe.
That's one of those plays where the throw was there, the first baseman wasn't quite standing right.
Yep.
Your opinion on that, Coach?
I didn't catch it all the way. I don't know where the location of the throw was at either, but either way, it looked like a play that you could try to get.
I think a left-handed first baseman is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to turn away to get to the bag.
My other question would be, what was the base runner doing?
Yeah, that's true.
The base runner got a bad jump and panicked, and instead of just coming back, he kind of froze. Uh-oh,
Couch
that's a foul ball.
chokes up and hits that one way foul left side.
Almost. He knows that was his chance. That's a pitch he knows he could have taken deep.
If you notice, Couch, he's choked up like an inch on the bat. At least the last.
Yeah, look at that. It's quite a
he's
bit.
he's really up there trying to fight it off.
Caught him leaning again.
This Dodger team is not quite as steel happy as the other one was, but because those other guys were just taking off at any point. Didn't matter if they had a green light or not, they just win. Runner goes, high pitch, and looks like he's going to get in there. Ball hit him. Now he's going to be able to take third base.
Didn't look like anyone was really covering the bag timely.
Catcher's throw was right on target.
Yeah, catcher, nice throw. So if I'm the catcher, I made a nice throw to first on a snap throw, and I made a nice throw to second, and the runner's on third.
Yeah.
You know, what do I got to do?
That was pretty fast.
It's tough.
All of a sudden, the runner's from first to third, just like that. So now Noah looks up and discovers that he's got a runner at third. Now he's going to choke up a little more. Here's the pitch, and this one gets away from the catcher, but there's not quite enough room to get the runner home.
Infield in, a ball 92 feet gets a run home.
I know a certain coach that has brought 8 fielders into the infield end.
Right, when winning runs at third and you got less than 2 outs, you're not throwing anybody out from the outfield, you might as well bring them all in the infield.
And this one gets away from the catcher, he can't find it, and the runner's still going to stay there at third.
Definitely not a situation you want to be in where you have to bring in 8 infielders to survive a game, but what do you got to lose? Yes.
Now we'll see Webb once again coming to the plate.
I think Webb's going to like having an opportunity here to make up for that last at bat. I know he wanted to hit that one a little harder and a little further, so.
I think the bullpen's getting hot.
Yeah, it's interesting because working into the 6th inning, runners at first and third, you would think that at least maybe now they might try a pitching change. They don't have anybody in the pen now.
They just brought in the first baseman. There was a little sub.
Yep.
First baseman went to the pen. New first baseman out there.
Yep. Until now they do. They have somebody working. Runner going. That'll be a swing and miss, and they didn't even try to throw down a second. Nathan Webb at the plate out of Mandarin. Runners at second and third for him. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead here in the 6th. Trying to add more. Another outside strike. He's been calling that one today. Outside strike has been there for him. From the stretch, Bingham, there's a base hit, right side, going to get at least one run home. Here comes the second, now the hold up at third. It's an RBI single to make it 2. Bingham, there's a base hit, right side, going to get at least one run home. Here comes the second, now the hold up at third. It's an RBI, brings home the second run of the day for the Dodgers to make it 2-0. Dodgers won the first game of the day against Clay, 5-0, and this one now 2-0.
Is it the Clay 17th play at 6 o'clock?
I think so, yeah.
Here is Lodice, a ground ball to second. Got the fielder's choice as Webb is out at second. And I believe the run did score,
Yes, run scored.
so it makes it 3-0. 3-0 Dodgers, and now here's Brad Hodges. Brad Hodges had drove home the first run of the day earlier with an RBI single to drive home Lodice, and now Lodice stands at first. Hodges lifts this one into center field, having to make a run, and he makes the catch for out number 3. A run does score to make it 3-0. Hodges lifts this one into center field, having to make a run, and he makes the catch for out number 3.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
Noah Woods.
Sweet.
33.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
I live right here. I live back at the middle area.
Back here with you for the bottom half of the 6th inning, as Noah Woods will be the 5th pitcher of the day for the Dodgers. Noah Woods out of Bartram Trail High School.
A couple players this year in that team at Bartram Trail for Coach Fitz.
Yeah, they've been talking to Coach Fitz here recently. They got a couple of really good players over there. Trevez Johnson going to play football in Florida. He's a good baseball player at Bartram Trail too.
You know, two years ago, when we started collecting data here locally, I sent out an email to all coaches, high school coaches, that'd come out and do it for free. And Oakleaf was the first one that responded, but Coach Fitz at Bartram and Coach King at Creekside, they also responded. And I was able to go out there and, man, they got all of those schools. Between those three schools, Oakleaf, Bartram, and Creekside, I saw a ton of college talent. It was really neat.
Here's Danny Loomis now, number 33 for the Florida Gulf Coast Prospects. Struck out his last time. Here's a fly ball to right field. Shallow right, coming in and making the play.
Great communication by the right fielder there. Really called off the second baseman. And when you can hear the call off from here in the booth behind home plate from the right fielder, you know they're doing it right.
That was Brad Hodges making that play in right field. Starter on the mound in the first inning today. He's played in the field now and playing in right field. Back now to the top of the order. This is Kayden Evans.
Sometimes the coach on the dugout area can jump out of the way. That one, he couldn't jump out of the way. It went through his legs, and he is very lucky that did not take a unfortunate hop. Oh, great.
Kayden Evans takes an inside strike, as you said, 78 miles per hour, nearly 2,000 on the RPMs. Again, this is Noah Woods on the mound.
Like he tried to get a breaking ball over, just missed.
Another breaking ball, this time a grounder to second. Up at the throw, makes the play. Out number 2.
Good play by the second baseman to stay low, work up through the ball. That way if there's a bad hop, you're not going down while the ball is going up. Really nice play.
Nice play made by Cade Frew out of Bowles. That play. For the second out here in the 6th. Now here's Chris Thompson.
Got a lot of glove side movement with his pitches. Not afraid to throw it inside on the left-hander, so that was kind of good to see.
Quickly 0-2 now on Chris Thompson. Here's Woods from the stretch. Swung through that one, but did foul it off. The catcher dropped it.
He's continuing to gain a little velo here on the mound. It touched 80 on that one.
Just saw something interesting with the batter there. You see, he keeps his hand a little bit separated.
Yeah, look at that.
He does. He chokes way up, too. This one a high bouncer to second base. Frew's going to have to get on his horse, and he does, and that is out number 3. Let's head now to the 7th inning. 3-0 is the score right now as the Dodgers continue to lead.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive a full data breakdown of your performance, giving you the ability to provide college coaches and scouts exactly what they are looking for. Video to allow them to best evaluate your movements, and data to see how your metrics measure up to the standards of their program. Designed with feedback from some of the best college programs and MLB scouts alike, your Stat Manager video will work for you more than any showcase ever could, and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today for your own Stat Manager video.
Drew Rolfe is now the pitcher, the new guy in the game, and he hits the batter at the plate right now. Drew is a guy who throws in the mid-80s, and that one caught the back of Cade Frew at the plate. So this is not the way you wanted to start for the Florida Gulf Coast prospects. This last inning, the 7th, down 3-0, and we've already put a runner at first. With a power hitter now at the plate, the Florida commit Will Ross out of West Orange.
Pitch.
Drew Rolfe, a powerful hitter, also a pretty powerful pitcher, 6'3", 210. There's a ground to the third. And runners are safe. Could not get the play in time at second. So Rolfe is quickly in a jam now with runners at first and second. And now back to the top of the lineup, JU commit Justin Nadeau. Ground ball, foul, third base.
And Lucas with the error at the third base side. He had it. He was trying to make the play. Just bobbled it a little bit.
This one gets away from the catcher for a second. Justin Nadeau, the shortstop for the Dodgers. Another guy that played high school ball at Bartram. Now is going to JU pretty soon. Swing and a hot shot to the first base dugout. Cade Frew at second, Will Ross at first. And Justin Nadeau at the plate for the Dodgers.
Amazing how much the game really starts to slow down with base runners on, right?
Swing and a miss.
It's one of those things where when there's no runners on, the action is faster, but there's less action. For a baseball fan, for someone maybe that doesn't watch and follow baseball, doesn't know much about the game, they would see a lot of the standing around with players on the base, and they're thinking, what's going on? When if you're a baseball fan, you know there's a lot going on right now, defensively, offensively.
Here's Finn Howell. Finn Howell out of St. John's Country Day going to UNF. Dodgers with an opportunity here in the 7th to add on to their lead. Here's a squibbler off the bat, and it's an easy play over at first.
See, when that was right there in on the hands, and if you've played enough summer ball, wood bat league, you know that you should probably be happy that that bat didn't just break right
That's
there.
right. Yep, that's a splinter bat for sure. Here's another Jacksonville University commitment, Max Williams. Max Williams from Ridgeview. Know his head coach very well, at least his former coach, John Scromolo. There's a called strike on the inside. Here's Rolfe. Another pitch, this time outside.
Hey.
Williams stands in with runners at first and second. Now second and third. Grounded to first, advance both runners to second and third. Strike call in the inside corner. Max Williams was ready to just step out of the box, and that one called a strike. Here's the pitch. Struck him out on an inside pitch. An inside pitch gets strike number 3.
Just stay with the center field.
And it's still 3-0. Dodgers with the lead.
Discount.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, Nathan Webb pitching now for the Dodgers. Webb out of Mandarin gets a first pitch swinging. From Lawrence Sutton. 3-0 Dodgers. They are on the verge of possibly winning both the first 2 games of action today. The 2023s won earlier today 5-0. And now the 2022s are up 3-0 here in the 7th.
You know, Webb from Mandarin High School, I know, been watching a few kids that were some 2020s that just graduated from there that I've seen since 10U. So it's neat to watch their careers.
There's a base hit, and out of the box, possibly a base hit. Now they're going to throw him out.
He stumbled. He stumbled a little bit out of the box and never really made it more than 10 feet out of there.
Lawrence Sutton stumbling out of the box and may have injured himself. He's limping a little bit back to the
Yeah, he's favored that left leg a little bit today. I can't tell if it's an ankle or whatever, but he seemed to have favored it most of the day.
Here is the pitcher we just saw on the mound, Drew Rolfe, who's played a little bit of first base today. And now here comes the shortstop over to make the play, and nicely done by Justin Nadeau. Quickly 2 down here in this bottom of the 7th.
Once again, you know, some of those little things you look for in a team, and the third baseman easily could have made the play, but the shortstop knows that when you come from the side on a ball, you have better vision of it. You're able to judge it a little better, and called off the third baseman. He was able to move out of the way and made it routine, but so many times you see that ball drop. And that's got to be an out. You have to have an out. If the hitter makes a mistake inside the fences, you need to turn that into an out. You can't let him get away with it.
Chase Holman now at the plate, the fifth place hitter. Chase doesn't wear a number on his back, so we're fortunate to know that that's him. Oh, man.
So Webb pumping up there in low 80s. And like a Dodger will do, working fast.
Here's a high fly ball, right field. Brad Hodges coming in to try to make the play. He does, and that will do it. The Florida Dodgers scout team wins this one 3-0. That is your final in the 7th inning. 3-0 the final of the Florida Dodgers scout team. We'll be back with you for our third game coming up for Mark Spencer. I'm Andrew Gibson. We'll talk to you in game number 3.
say, as far as left-hand pitchers, especially early in the game, you want to make sure what kind of move he has first before you try to give any intent to go to second base. So I think you call it a one-way lead. Try to read it out a little bit first, and then I'm a big first move guy on the
First
left-hand.
move.
They did pretty good with that first.
Don't mess with it.
movement. Don't mess with it. Just hopefully you have good luck with it and you get to second base.
All right, we'll continue that conversation as we head to the bottom half. A double play ends the bottom half of the inning. We go now to the bottom of the third.
There is now a more effective and a less expensive way to promote your ability as a baseball or softball player. Welcome to Stat Manager Prospect Videos. Say goodbye to the old way of hoping to be seen at a showcase. Start controlling your own destiny and controlling who sees your skills. When you get a Stat Manager Prospect video, you'll also receive